Okay, welcome to another vocabulary class. Today we're looking at a noun of noun, this particular pattern. Now I must admit that most of the time when you see noun of noun, you'll have a the here rather than an a. But there is one exception, and that is quantifiers. A lot of, a few of, a little of, a bit of. And all of these expressions today are, in one way or another, quantifiers, which is why you see this a noun of noun pattern each and every time. And I want to remind you as well that we have already studied a few of these. And look at that, a few of these. It's a quantitative expression. We've already seen a plague of insects, a plague of mice, a plague of journalists. And notice that the noun's always plural here, because when you have a plague of something, there are many of them. You know, so usually it will be a plague of and then plural noun. A plague of insects, mice, journalists, they all collocate very strongly with plague. A deluge of complaints, a deluge of paperwork, a deluge of requests. Remember that a deluge is a flood, and sometimes you'll see a flood of complaints, a flood of paperwork. You will sometimes, but I think deluge is also very common. You can say that was a stroke of luck. What a stroke of good luck. What a stroke of bad luck. But you can also say that was a stroke of genius. That particular idea or that theory that Einstein came up with or whatever was a stroke of genius. Yeah. And there's one more word which I didn't tell you last time that collocates with stroke that I want to introduce in this class, and that is stroke of work. But this is always in the negative, and it's always when you're criticizing somebody for being bone idle, yeah, for being lazy. You say he never does a stroke of work, and that means he never works, yeah? He doesn't do any work whatsoever. Yeah? It emphasizes it, it makes it stronger. Okay, so for bone idle people, you can say that. He never does a stroke of work, or she never does a stroke of work. Now, don't forget a spate of plus plural noun, usually a spate of attacks, a spate of murders, a spate of burglaries, a spate of, and then some kind of crime, usually. A barrage of insults, a barrage of criticism, a barrage of questions, a barrage of complaints. Yeah, and notice that some of those are plural, but criticism is not plural. And so sometimes you'll have some plural and some not plural. A snippet of information, a snippet of conversation. Snippet just means a small piece of, yeah, a little bit of. So a little bit of information, a little bit of conversation. That's what snippet is. Okay, so don't forget those ones, the ones we have already studied. But now for some new ones. Firstly, animals. A pack of dogs, a pack of wolves, a pack of hounds, and a pack of lies. We also use this pack of with lies when somebody is not telling the truth. When they're telling you lots of lies, you can say it was all a pack of lies. Yeah, everything he said was a pack of lies. It's clear, yeah, he lied lots and lots and lots. It was all a pack of lies. So that's something to remember. We say a herd of cattle, a herd of cows, a herd of elephants. And I think we usually use herd for large animals like elephants and cows. I think we'd say a herd of rhinoceros. So any large element, like any large animal like elephants, rhinoceros, cows, use herd. A swarm of bees, a swarm of wasps, a swarm of locusts. So swarm is for flying insects, really. If you have a plague of, you can have a plague of locusts, by the way, but I think you often read about that in the Bible. Yeah, but a plague of locusts. And you can say a swarm of locusts, and it means when there are lots of them all together. Yeah, and of course, you don't really want to be out when there's a swarm of bees outside, because they might sting you, yeah? One of the bees might sting you, sting, stang, stung. Okay, so we have a flock of birds, a flock of pigeons, and strangely enough, we also say a flock of sheep. But usually, flock is for birds, yeah, usually. So different types of birds will be flock. A flock of doves, yeah, a flock of any birds where you get, well, any species where you get lots of them together.